Hello, guys, and welcome to our second event of the reserves this evening. This evening, we will see the World Series reserves go around the track around Australia in round one. Joining me this evening in the comms box, we have a good old friend of mine. He's back. It's Bleeding Sunrise, and alongside him is Curly Whirly 7. But right now, I'm going to hand over to Bleeding Sunrise to follow on with the intro.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. It's good to be back here and talk to you guys and everybody who is watching through the race of tonight. I'm sure everybody's excited to watch this season get underway. But first, before we get racing, we sure have to know who our drivers are tonight. So first up, we are in the Mercedes and we are watching Dre SS81 with veteran SBL Malik Kekec. I haven't seen Dre before. I have seen Malik Kekec, and at least one of them, of course, is really quick. So on to the Ferraris. We got the team Ferrari, now named as Torpedoes, with Masnad and Schumi, two really experienced drivers who sure are going to put up a good fight. On the Red Bull side of things, you got Slimbo Dude and Con Reese, two new drivers I haven't seen before, so I sure have to keep my eye on them. On the Williams tonight, we got a Nightwalker, team name Son of Liberty. Drew would be his teammate, but I don't see him online at the moment. I hope he's joining soon. On the Force India, we got BDS, Jade Riles, and an AI driver, Esteban Ocon, we won't see tonight. For Renault, we got Stucky, a really fast driver who has been really competitive on the World Championship last season and clinching second place. Unfortunately, couldn't race the last races, but otherwise it would be a really tight battle for the title. So I'm keeping my eyes on him for battling up front. On the Scuderia Toro Rosso, we got Anders and Alain Mantine. Anders started off cautiously last year, and he somehow found his pace and finished off strong. And I'm sure he wants to keep that progression going. On the Haas F1 team, we got Barvmet. I've seen him a few times, putting on some steady results. And let's see if we can keep it that way. On McLaren, we got a good and reliable driver pairing, Just Royalty, known for sheer speed around the track, and Ozzy putting on some decent results. On Sauber, last on the grid, we got Formula 1 Luke. I haven't seen him before personally, but let's keep an eye on him. So, Dave, Curly, how is everything ready?
Just before Curly gets in there, I just need you to do one thing, Bleeding Sunrise. Can you lock
Yes.
down the lobby? And these will be the guys that will be sticking with us tonight. And I will allow Curly Whirly to give us a bit of an intro as you do that, Micro Man.
Yeah, just a quick update. A couple guys joining in very late to the lobby. We've got Konzo and Calzo, two of our World Series drivers, have just hopped in at the very last moment. So we see good to see how those guys get on tonight as well. We got a few World Series drivers in here, obviously Konzo and Calzo, as well as Stocky, Malik Kekec. I believe a Razor is racing the World Series this season, so we won't be focusing too much on them tonight. Main interest is on the reserve drivers and seeing how they get on. In particular, I'm interested to see how Maznat gets on tonight. He was having a great race last night in the championship reserves, but unfortunately was taken out late in the race, and he'll be looking for a little bit of redemption this evening.
Guys, before we head to the track, I just got a message from Twist Royalty, and it says session no longer exists. Can we pop him another invite?
Sure,
Yeah,
if
I'll get that done.
one of you can do that. Before that happens, are you aware how to lock down a lobby, Bleeding Sunrise?
No, I was looking for it.
All you need to do is where it's got the amount of competitors we can have in a session. If you just bring it down to whatever number you have in the top right hand corner, then it will lock it down once we go.
Cool.
Okay,
So,
Dave, if you have Twist Royalty, you need to invite him because he's not showing up for me.
Okay, guys, bear with me. We will have a split-second break while I get Twist Royalty in the lobby and send him an invite, and we'll be going very shortly. Apologies, guys. Right, that is the invite sent out, guys. So we will just give Twist a couple of seconds and he can get back in because he had a spot before we locked down the lobby. He should be able to return. So, Curly Wurly, we haven't really touched much upon what happened yesterday. With the events of yesterday, unfortunately, Bleeding Sunrise wasn't with us. What could we expect from near enough a full grid here today?
Well, possibly some more rain. That was interesting in qualifying last night. Maybe we'll get some in the race tonight. I think that would be good to see. A little bit of a curveball at the start of the season for the drivers. But with a full grid tonight, we had a fairly broken up grid last night early on. A few incidents, some crashes, some broken wings, which split the grid apart. I would expect things to be much closer tonight. In particular, Australia is a track where it's very difficult to overtake. This is a circuit where you can very easily get stuck behind other drivers for a considerable period of time, and I would assume we'll see a few trains forming tonight, which should be interesting. The undercut is very strong around here, so going into the pits early is going to be a pretty powerful strategy, and then defending from there.
So as you heard from Curly Wurly, guys, it could be an eventful race, could be a quiet race, but we hope to see nothing but carnage. Joking. No. But other than that, thank you very much for that, Curly Wurly. Bleeding Sunrise, Twist is back. We are now good to go. So if you two would like to ready up, and me, well, Curly, if you ready up, and me and Bleeding Sunrise will spectate up, as we call it now. Hopefully we can get these guys over to the track ASAP. But Bleeding Sunrise, you've been away for a while, haven't joined us in any of our test sessions. No fault of your own, of course. What's it like to be back in a comms box? A bit nervous, a bit anxious?
No, the nerves will go away pretty quickly. I haven't been with you guys, at least doing some other stuff. But being back is, being first time is always, I think you get the good nerves, let's say. But I'm really excited. I'm honestly really excited to see what happens. I mean, a lot of drivers I haven't seen before, and I hope some guys will surprise me in a good way.
Oh, I'm sure they will off the events we saw yesterday if they can live up to that. But 5 seconds now, guys. We are just about to go over to track. We'd like to wish them all good luck. And let's crack on and go racing as soon as possible. But we're here, round one, Australia. Yesterday you saw our non-assists hit the track. Today you are seeing our assist users running. We have a little twist. We will bring that up as we go through qualifying. I've informed Bleeding Sunrise he may want to bring it up if he remembers. But let's go racing. We're just waiting for these guys to hit the track. Are we going to have rain? Sunshine? Who knows? Curly Wurly will give us that information once we get there. So all drivers just waiting to load up. We've got to skip the intro, guys, so once that pops up we will do that. Just a bit of info for you today. Bleeding Sunrise would normally be our broadcaster on the WSR because he did a fantastic job last season. However, we've had a bit of a last minute problem pop up, so I will be your broadcaster this evening, and normal service should be resumed next week in 2 weeks time, in China with the reserve events. So we're over to the track, guys. What are we looking at?
Just waiting for everybody to load into the lobby. Just a quick note with the tires tonight. It's the Ultra Soft, Super Soft and Soft compound tires available. However, despite the very soft compounded tires, a one-stop around here is possible. So a little update on the weather. We have a very cloudy qualifying session. Does look to be dry. However, we have rain in the race. It should be intermediate conditions the entire way through the Grand Prix. So what we're going to see here is, again, another completely flat-out qualifying session. Throw everything at it, no worries for strategies, just get the fastest lap possible in to start as high up the grid in those wet conditions. I'd expect, well, earlier on saying things might be very close together. In the rain, things can often get a little bit more spread out, and we'll probably have a definitely more of a messy race, perhaps.
Wow, that information there is a bit interesting. We've got the opposite of what happened yesterday, Bleeding Sunrise. We had a wet quali and a dry race, but I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
Wow, that's really good. Really good to hear. Knowing that it rains, I would like to have a go myself. But commentating tonight to see how these guys fare on is also a pretty good prospect.
It is indeed. We've got a lot of cars hitting the track. Unsure who was in the Renaults, but they're both out in front by the looks of it. We're currently on board with Twist as he's done his outlap. Just wondering if you fancy it, Bleeding Sunrise. Would you like to be a pick a driver? Take us through the first lap of the World Series Reserves when you're ready.
Let's pick Twist Royalty. That might be a good idea. I'm still playing a bit with how to do the different camera types and stuff. That's how it works. Oh, that's good. Maybe it's a good thing I'm not broadcasting and do it next week. But yeah, I'm on board now with Twist Royalty on this shiny new McLaren we're seeing for the first time live. He's being a gentleman and letting a Mercedes through. Yeah, it's not really warming up his tires at the moment.
It's one of those things where you're all new to the game. We're unsure if it's better to take your time and allow all the grip to be in the tyre when you start, or is it wise to push on and get some heat in? So we're as new to it as you are, Bleeding. But yeah, as Bleeding said, he's got to get used to a few of the buttons, guys, because he's back with us now, new. And as soon as he's up to speed, he will be back to normal, believe you me. And it'll be hard work to shut him up. Joking.
Thank you. But I'm on board with Twist Royalty, who is going really slow. He's getting into the zone. He presses the gas and charges on to the first start-finish straight. I think he clipped the grass for a tiny bit. I hope for him it doesn't compromise him too much. This first corner is really important to take it as flat as you can. He takes it pretty cautiously. Of course he can, because he's got a few tries left with his tires. I mean, it's raining after all. So going to the right and to the left on the first sector, it's really important to not take too many risks. I mean, you can lose a ton of time there by sliding around for a bit. All right. Taking a good exit onto this really small straight. It's a really scary corner, this one, where he's at now to brake late. I mean, the corner that's following leads onto this longer straight, and it's really important to have a good exit.
I'm just gonna cut you off for a second there. We've got Stocky in a wall. I think it's at the end of turn 12, and he is out of this qualifying session.
I could be right in saying we've just seen him, but I think me and Bleeding Sunrise were on board with Twist, and Twist nearly followed.
Yes. Yeah, he almost followed after the Renault. Was Stocky in the Renault?
Yes.
So SBL Malikakic is kicking off this qualifying session with a 122.6. What does Twist Royalty do following that tiny little error? Is Ford with 125.3. I'm sure he is going faster for a second run. So who is on a flyer right now?
I'm just pointing on that error. Twist Royalty losing 2 seconds in the final sector compared to Malikakic. So that's where he's missing out on his time. We've also had Maznak go up to P2. Looking for drivers on a run. We've got Uzi on an out lap. Shumi Garcia's invalidated one of his laps. We've got Barvmet on a lap. He's coming towards the end. Just coming around the final corner now. Does a pretty good job there. Could have maybe been a little tighter to the apex, but a good job on the exit. Using quite a lot of that curb out there. He's going to cross the line and go P5. It's a decent start for him. Again, a little bit down in that final sector to compared to what some of the top guys are doing.
Nice little lap there. We caught the end of it. If you guys can just scream at me when guys are on a laps, because I've got a lot of guys in the pits, I believe, at the bottom.
Calzo is beginning. Calzo is beginning a lap now.
Okay, superb. We'll jump on board with him, and I will take him through this lap if you want, guys. One of our World Series drivers, because we've seen one of our WSR drivers go, so this is a comparison for him with Calzo on board, so they can get some ideas of what they're doing wrong. Just taking turns 1 and 2 there, looked very smooth by Calzo there, one of the contenders for the championship in the World Series this season. Into turn 3, nicely done, misses the apex, skims the apex of 4, wishy-washy on the rear bit, holds it nicely, coming through 5 now. Flat out through there now, not even using the whole track. Coming through sector 1, he's done a 23.1. I'm unsure if that's purple or not. Guys will update me as we go. But coming into sector 2 now, guiding it round the long right-hander into the tight chicane. What's his braking point? Around about the 80-metre mark, skimming the apex nice, touching the curb on the way out, brushing up against the wall. This is looking very nice, very composed from Calzo here. Looking like a guy that could really take the fight to some World Series drivers. Coming into the fast left-right-hand chicane. Ooh, a bit of an adjustment in. You can see that mid corner, and I believe we've just abandoned the lap. Maybe a bit too much speed carried in there, and one gear down too low, who knows, but these are the assist runners. Moving on from that, guys, because obviously we don't want to focus too much on Calzo. Do we have any of our reserve drivers on a lap?
I will scout one out for you and report back to you as soon as I can.
I think
Anders
we've got
is on
Jade Rios just starting a lap here on the Ultrasoft tires.
Okay, Curly, are you there with her? Would you like to run through her lap?
Yeah, so just coming through turn 4 now, fourth gear corner, doing a good job on the exit there. Then that's just clipping the wall before turn 5, and yeah, that's a frustrating mistake. It was looking pretty good up until then, but clipping that outside wall at turn 5 and well, just spinning off. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a commentator's curse, I think, that we've given there. Another one of the drivers was complaining about that beforehand, but this lap not going to plan for Jade at all.
No, our commentator curse are being handed out right, left, right, centre at the moment, isn't they, Curly? Well, it's not looking good for us.
I think we had a couple drivers after last night demand to not be shown on the broadcast, actually, for the amount of people that crashed the moment we switched to them. So yeah, perhaps it'd be better if we just looked at the pits.
That's very, very true there. I've just noticed, guys, a driver maybe to keep an eye on is a Razor, one of our, you could call him veterans, I suppose. He's on an out lap, so I'll flick off him, but he's one to line up a lap shortly. Jump on board with Nightwalker, currently just gone through sector 1, done a 27.8, and now we're up to the long sweeping right hander going into the tight chicane before the fast left right. What's his braking point like? Looks nice, taking a lot of curb there, but just within the track limits, I'd say. Not trying to brush up on the wall on the exit, so we're coming down to the end of sector 2, a long way down. What's the time going to be? It's a 27.8. I'm unsure if that's his sector time. Maybe Curly could update us down in the pit lane and how his progress is going, but we're coming up to the final sector now. Looking for his brake point around about the 70 metre mark board there. Looks very, very nice and stable. Nightwalker here, one of our new competitors to the WSR World Series Reserves, coming into the penultimate corner now. Nicely done, using the track. Turned into the final corner there, maybe a touch too early, but DRS open now, flying down to the line. 122.6 to beat. He set a 124.3 and found himself in 6th place. Nice little lap there.
Right. Yeah, if you can go switch to a Razor, he is going through sector 1 at the moment. I was watching him from the start of his lap, and it looks really, really clean. So it might be a flyer for him. He's nailing every apex more than the other guys I've watched before in this session, and I'm curious to see what he does.
Just a quick note, Anders just put himself up into P2. He's the highest of the reserve drivers now with a 22.8. He's just pit Maznat by 0.03 of a second.
Ooh, wow, that's
really
good.
Well done.
Bit of pressure on SBL up there, but as Bleeding was saying, we're currently on board with a Razor. He's looking, as Bleeding Sunrise said, very stable, very confident, hitting every break point. It's just hope his lap time gives him the reward at the end of it as we come through the final few corners now. Coming into the third from last corner, a bit slow, maybe could have attacked that a bit more, but depending on setup, because as Curly Whirly said, these guys are going into a rain session with the race. But coming around the final corner, opening up the DRS now, maybe a slight squirm on the way out, but here we go, flying to the line. It's 125, 126.3, so not quick, but it looked very consistent throughout the whole lap there, Bleeding.
Yeah, I was going on board with Formula 1 Luke, and going on the beginning of sector 1, he went over the curb like a madman. He took risk. He took a lot of risk, but it looked like he paid off. Oh, he's retiring. He might got an off track and retired his car.
Ooh, wow, the time's flying by, guys, because yeah, we've only got 1 minute 35 seconds left of this session, so it's a new feature for me and you, Bleeding. We're used to 18 minutes, but trying to cram all this in 12 minutes is a bit hard. But
yeah, it actually got me caught out in a few of the practice races I did, and I just waited in the pits a bit for better temperature or whatever, and suddenly my engineer is like, 3 minutes left, you need to go out. What 3 minutes? Oh yeah, oh dear, let's go out then.
It is, it's a lot.
Just as we were on board with the Razor there, Twist Royalty has put himself up into P2 with a 22.7. It's very, very close up the top here. The top 4 reserve drivers separated by just 0.3 at the moment.
Ooh, could be an interesting race for our reserves there, Bleeding.
Yeah, you
as
can
Anders
switch
is
on.
in a wall with 3 wheels, unfortunately, so that's his qualifying session over.
If you can just go on to Barfmet. He just started his lap, looked pretty clean. I think he is close enough to the top to make a few positions. I mean, he can if he can improve his time by a lot. But it looks clean. It looks like he's going in for 100%, but not overly aggressive. So it might pay off in the end.
It might be.
It's good for sector time, 27.4 for Barfmet here. It's looking pretty good. He's up there with the other front runners in the reserve race. We'll see how he's doing through this middle sector, coming towards the very fast turns 11 and 12. He's taking that in 6th gear, just held it in 7th just the whole way, maybe for a little bit of stability. His middle sector is pretty good, although he's a couple tenths down on some of the other reserve drivers. He's got to have a really good final sector, clipping the apex of turn 13 there nicely. Unfortunately, I've been kicked off the camera, so you guys will have to continue that one.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm still on with him. He's braking. He's locking up a bit on the penultimate corner. Going to the last corner. He's looking pretty clean through that, taking all the curb he can, and he's going up. Is he going up? He's going to. No, he's not going up. That's a bit unfortunate for him, but good play for him.
Yeah, that would be 9th place for Bereavement there. He did a nice little lap there, but again, we don't know what these guys are doing, do we, fellas? It could be these guys that are putting in these 23s, 24s could have a full-on wet setup for the intermediates conditions, and the guys up front just absolutely going for it and treating it like a test session. So it'd be interesting.
Simbo dude, he snatched pole at the last minute.
Yeah, Schumi Garcia up to 4th as well.
Yeah.
Got a big train of drivers following their laps behind Barfmet. But yeah, what a lap from Slimbo, dude. He's been someone that myself and Dave have talked about previously in the test sessions, and he's been extremely impressive. And yet again, a 22.1 is a very good time.
It is indeed. What I'll do now, guys, is fly through the order as quick as I can. So in pole, it's our WSR reserve, Slimbo dude. Fantastic job there. He's really shown himself as a hell of a competitor up against the likes of Konzo and Calzo who line up behind him. Calzo 2nd, Konzo 3rd, Schumi Garcia 4th, SBL Manikekech 5th, Twist Royalty 6th, Anders in 7th, Maznat in 8th, Alimentine 9th, Bereavement 10th, Nightwalker 11th, Jade in 12th, Formula Luke in 13th, Uzi 14th, Eraser 15th, and apologies if I missed your flair, I only got down to 15th, guys. So a bit of an interesting quali session there, guys.
Wow.
Welcome
yeah,
back.
I thought that Madi Kekic just got it, and then in the last minute, like 5 guys just flew past him.
It'd be interesting now. Sorry to interrupt you, Bleeding. I just want to touch upon something.
Yeah, of course.
We were going to bring up something, guys. We have no formation lap because it's providing syncing issues when they come back around to line up on grid. So they will be going straight into the race as they did yesterday in the World Championship reserves. Also, a feature we did turn off in both series and championships was the safety car. So there will be no safety car for purposes of testing and no formation lap. But I believe we've got 5 seconds to go, guys.
Oh yes.
So as
I'm
we
excited.
get ready, it's been a while, Bleeding, but what I shall do is let you do the start. We've been put on board straight away, so over to you, buddy.
Yeah, I have to go to the start. I hope it puts me back. Yeah, I'm off, and everybody seems to have a good. There's a bit of a scramble in the back of the grid. There's a Red Bull going on. There's 2 wide into turn 1. Is everybody getting safe? There are guys going wide left and center. I'll have a look who that was in a bit, but most guys are getting off safe. Ooh, there's a lot of carnage in the back. I see a few bits and bobs laying on the track. But sure, if we would have safety car on, then I'm sure it was deployed. I see Formula 1 look with no front wing. I see Slowfoot India, that was probably Curly. And yeah, there's a few guys going slowly. There's a tap, there's a Ferrari tapping. Schumi just tapped Ozzy off the track. That was a bit unfortunate. What's happening on the back? Let's go back to the front. Let's see what's happening there. Calso is leading at the moment. Behind him, Slimbo dude who put in a stellar qualifying performance. We have a bit of a battle going on for 3rd with Anders, Konzo and SBL Manikekech. Oh man, we've got a lot of runners who are looking to win, and it's all possible with the rain tonight.
It is indeed.
Yeah, numerous drivers caught
Go
up
on,
at the
Curly.
start there with incidents. We had Formula 1 Luke, Shimi Garcia, Con Reese, Uzi. It also looked like Stocky was caught up in that, who is now retired. So yeah, a number of cars having incidents there at turn 1. Looked very messy.
Woo,
Yeah.
cut you off there. Konzo gone. I know he's one of our... Woo, and now Anders gone. Anders, they are finding these conditions very, very tricky. So,
Yeah,
and it's all bunching up around
He had a bit
Anders.
of a contact with SBL and he just, yeah, well, and now SBL is getting tapped. He's in the wall. I hope he's still got his front wing, but well, he was involved in some kind of way with a crash a few corners ago, so might be a bit of a karma, but I don't know.
That's interesting stuff there. I just want to point out, guys, that you guys won't have heard of him. He's a friend of mine from another league. Ali Muntean is one of our new reserves, and he's found himself in 4th, so not a bad showing there from a gentleman that's just come along and give it a go. Carnage may have helped at the start, but he's up there. We'll see what this guy delivers. At present, I don't know if you guys see anything else going on, but I'm going to stay on board with the likes of Ali Muntean because he's got Anders behind him and Twist Royalty in front.
Yeah, at the moment that's the battle to watch for. Those guys are in each other's gearboxes at the moment. It's even a team battle.
It is indeed.
Yeah, we've got a number of drivers in the pits there grabbing new front wings. I think all of Bartmet, Con Reese, Formula 1 Luke, Shimi Garcia, Konzo, all in there to the pit lane to get new front wings. They're going to have a very tough time coming back through, especially the intermediates. It should be a similar strategy for everyone, as Bartmet is in the wall at the exit of turn 2. That's a long way down the straight to lose it. But yeah, his race is over. He must have lost on the outside curb possibly at turn 2.
Thanks for the information there, Curly. Keep it coming, buddy. You're doing a fantastic job. We heard the ooh from Bleeding Sunrise. Does he want to update us what we saw?
Yeah, the two Toro Rossos had a bit of a contact, and also at the same time Malik Kekec overtook a Razor. I didn't see the overtake, but it's a bit of a high profile one. I mean, both are proven guys to be really quick, and yeah, I'm sure they're in each other's hairs.
Yeah, we just had Twist Royalty set a 140.4 as the fastest lap. We've got we're currently on board with Ali Muntean, guys, because it looks like he's got the fierce SBL Malik Kekec behind him. We'll see how he does and deals with his pace and power coming up. But they're coming down to turn 3. Yellow flags waving. We've got a car there that the overtake may not happen here. Green flags are waving. SBL's looking not quite brave enough down there, but Ali's round wide. Nope, it seems Linus Stern. See anything else, Bleeding?
Yeah, there's a bit of a battle at the front with the top 3 drivers who are pulling away together with Slimbo Dude in between them in the sandwich. I mean, we got.
Oh, sorry, I've got to cut you off. Anders made a mistake. Ali Muntean went for the move. He's now losing out to SBL Malik Kekec as they come up to the tight chicane. Yes, SBL Malik Kekec has got it done, so his next victim will be Anders. Is he going to? No, Anders covering that off nicely, so Ali Muntean's lost another space.
No, Anders running wide though, he's on the grass. Malik Kekec's clean around the outside. Anders making a couple of mistakes here. He's missing half of a front wing. That's why he's had an incident somewhere, and that is costing him positions. Hand over fist. He's going to have Ali Muntean going for an extremely aggressive move around the outside of turn 11, and he actually pulls it off. That is, wow, that is an incredible move right there. And now Maznat's getting involved. He's up past Anders, who has that wing damage, looking down the inside, and Ali Muntean not close enough to get that move done. A Razor as well. Well, he's interested in this action here. He's right behind Anders. Should be able to get past. I think Anders is going to have to pull into the pits. He's losing so much time with that broken wing. We'll see if he does. Maznat running wide at the penultimate corner. He's actually run Anders completely off of the track. Maznat just coming across there, not leaving enough space for the other car. Anders drops down to P8, and a Razor, well, he grabs that position. It was pretty easy for him.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Anders there. That was superb. He seemed to be negotiating all the cars around him with the damage, as Curly Willy said. Fantastic. Wasn't pushing too hard, too nerf, and leaving plenty of room, so that's fantastic. And that all was...
Yeah, Malik Kekec just left the session.
Malik Kekec has lagged out, I think. He's not crashed, but he has left the session.
Ooh, unfortunate there. But yeah, moving on. SBL's gone. This leaves this Ali Muntean, Maznat, a Razor and Anders battle to continue.
I have to cut you off. Go to Slimbo Dude and Twist Royalty for P2. They're fighting at the moment in each other's hairs. Oh, Slimbo Dude's going off. He just went wide. And well, that's the position for Twist Royalty. He was doing so well. He's still doing really well, but sitting in between Kelzo and Twist Royalty, the veterans of the lobby, is an achievement on itself.
That is indeed. I noticed if we got a Red Bull being lapped, that might have helped with what happened there. Just been lapped, I think, because I've got Ali Muntean behind Slimbo Dude, and I'm unsure who that Red Bull is on my screen, guys.
I think it's Con Reese, who is, I think he's had a couple of crashes. He's a long way down the field at the moment. He's 47 seconds behind Shumi Garcia in 14, so he's had a couple of incidents.
Thank you very much for that update there, Curly Willy. Keep it coming. It all seems a bit tight and feisty, I must admit. These guys are doing a fantastic job given what happened yesterday. No offence to any of the drivers that took part, but it was a bit of carnage in a space of 2 minutes, and these guys are providing a good show for us this evening in the rain around Australia. So we're currently on board with Slimbo Dude, who's got Twist Roll. I've got Slimbo Dude. Nope. Yep, he stopped. What's going on here? That was strange. Did you guys see that at all?
No.
He was coming out of turn 1 and was as if he hit a brick wall and stopped dead.
Oh, that's weird.
We saw that once or twice on F1 2016, I think, with cars just randomly stopping. He's lost a huge amount of time to Twist Roll. He's lost about 8 seconds from that. So, yeah, that's put him right back towards Ali Muntean in this battle for 4th place, which is still going on with him, Maznat, and Eraser.
That is indeed one of those moments, which is good to see, as Curly Willy just touched upon. These are four, that's right, of our World Series reserve drivers all going for it. And I'll tell you what, guys, from 2nd all the way through to 8th, it is all World Series reserve drivers at the moment. This is great to see.
That's good. I got a bit of a fun statistic for you guys. I saw a few drivers are doing exceptionally well in this race, especially Eraser. He gained from the start. He gained 9 positions from going from P15 to P6. If my calculations is alright. Ali Muntean gained 5 positions. Twist Royalty gained 4. OC gained 3, and Con Reese is 4 positions up, although he's 1 lap down. But the other guys, really well done, really well done.
Yeah, that's good stuff there. Just want to update you, we've had a couple of things from YouTube with some of the guys asking for telemetry and bits and bobs like that. Guys, we will look into it. We obviously don't want to give too much away, and we're looking at how to deal with that because people's fuel load and tactics can be given away. So we'll look into that, but I have now put a bit of the telemetry up for them, the gears, speed, pit fuel, etc., so they can get a bit of an idea. Don't want to be too rude to the drivers that are participating tonight because they've all got their own strategies and way of racing.
Yeah, if you put it on enable, that's fine. Full is maybe a bit too much.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with 5th place Maznat. He's getting closer and closer to Ali Muntean. He's just slowly pulling this gap in. It was over a second for a little while, but now he's only 4/10ths back. Could be a move happening here fairly soon. We can have a look down the inside, but he's too far back at turn 9 and 10. So yeah, this is definitely one to watch. Closest battle we got so far.
That's the one we're on board with, Curly. It's all like one mind in the comms box tonight. I like it. We're all thinking, we're all on the same wave. It's good stuff. No, it was fantastic there. Good job, guys. Keep it up. But yeah, we're currently on board with the Ali Muntean and Maznat battle, which looks like a move is coming anytime soon. But it's looking quite good, guys. I mean, what's your thoughts so far, Bleeding? You haven't been a part of the test sessions, and what's standing out for you?
It's really fun to watch. I see people are struggling, honestly, in these conditions. It's good to see that also in intermediates you could struggle a fair bit. It's good to see, and well, I must say I'm really impressed by the reserve guys who come in here and just show what's up.
I got to cut you off. Ali Muntean's under pressure. Sorry there. Maznat looking around the outside of turn 1. Ali Muntean, great defensive cover in there in his 4th place, but Maznat now looking around the outside of 2. Ali Muntean covers that off, so it looks like we've got a hell of a battle. I've noticed DRS is still available, guys, so this could get very, very interesting. Maznat now down the inside of turn 4. Little bump, no, enough room left by the looks of it. A little bit of a squeal from both cars on the exit. Maznat all the way around the outside of turn 4, a move we saw yesterday a lot of, Curly. Beautiful move.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fantastic. A little bit of contact through turn 2 there, but Maznat definitely looking like the quicker driver at the moment. Just seems to have considerably more grip than Ali right now. So he should be able to pull away and try and get after these leaders. Although I've got to say, Slimo Dude and Twist Royalty are putting on one hell of a pace right now. They're really pulling away from most of the rest of the field.
Would you be able to give our viewers, because I don't know if they can see it, Curly Wurly, what's the gap from Calzo to Twist? Just so they've got an idea with the reserve against the World Series driver.
So Calzo to Twist Royalty is 4 seconds, Twist back to Slimbo Dude is 7, but we obviously know that Slimbo had that problem with the, well, freezing or whatever it was, and then back to Maznat is a further 5 seconds.
Superb stuff there, thank you very much, Curly Wurly.
Well, then the Slimbo is gaining, by the way, because it was 10 seconds and now it's 7.5, so we might have to watch that for a bit.
Ooh, I'm sure our man in the pit lane, Curly Wurly, will keep us updated in any given battles or gaps that are coming up. But I'm quite surprised. These are tricky conditions for these guys. I mean, DRS enabled, they're on inters, kind of crossing over period time. I mean, would any of you two chance going onto a pair of slicks given the conditions, or would you say this is too wet for our viewers?
It's really difficult. I mean, you kind of have to drive to feel it. It also depends on your position. I see someone in the pits, by the way, go to BDS Jade Rias. Maybe he's going to have a gamble.
I'd just like to correct
you
there.
Going for another set of intermediates.
That would be Jade She, one of the female drivers.
Oh, my apologies.
Well, no, you're new to the comms box. Everything's been updated. We just want to elaborate. Jade, I'm unsure if she is our first female competitor in front row racing, but she is here. She is racing, and she is doing a good job down in 9th place.
Oh, that's great.
She's certainly taken a gamble here because, I mean, this is a very early stop, not quite getting the pig exit right there, but this is a very early stop, possibly a 2-stop strategy coming out from Jade, or just going for a really big undercut on everyone else. I mean, the intermediate tires, they do have a pretty, there's a pretty big delta as Konzo just goes past there after that mistake at turn 1, but the intermediate tires, getting a new set on can give you a big undercut on those in front of you, so Jade going for a little bit of a gamble here. We'll see how it pays off.
Yeah, you're right. We're currently on board with her. Like Curly Way said, Konzo did slip through. She made a little mistake coming out the pits. Ran a bit deep in turn 1. But brand new intermediates at present. She's not letting Konzo go. Who's the current World Series World Champion?
So guys, I was thinking, well, if we don't have a battle at hand, well, we might have a look on Jade Rias. Shall I go through the question of the day?
You can, Bleeding Sunrise. Just going to give our viewers a quick update. Maznat is pitted. If if Curly Wurly can just have an update, see what's going on there, and over to you.
Yeah, he's on inters. He's also had a wing change. I don't know if he's had damage the whole stint or if that's something new, but he's coming out with a brand new front wing and some new green wall tires.
There we go. There's the update. But Bleeding Sunrise, over to you. We've got a quick spell.
Yeah, so we got one question for our viewers and our podium sitters who will have to answer this one. So we're in Australia, and the question is about one guy in Australia, namely the former Prime Minister, Bob Hawke. Bob Hawke set a world record, and he later suggested that this world record was the reason for his political success. What was the world record he set?
Would you like a stab at that one, Curly Wurly, or would you like me to go first?
No, I'm leaving that one for the drivers. That's perhaps the most difficult question of the day I think we've had yet.
Well, me being me, I can only think for Australians one thing they're good at, and that's no offence to them, but I'll leave that for the viewers. If you want to drop us an answer down on the YouTube channel, I'll read them out as we go, or towards the end of the show with Bleeding Sunrise's question. He will get a chance to repeat it again, guys, so don't worry. And fire your answers in.
Oh, Maznat is going for a big slide on the chicane. Wow, he's looking like Cam Block at the moment. He's on the grass. He's going back. He's going forward. Can he go on? Yeah, he can. Well, that was a massive slide. I rated a 9 out of 10 for awesomeness, but it doesn't make him faster.
Okay, just a quick update. Ali has had an issue somewhere on this lap. He broke his front wing at the start of the lap and has lost a huge amount of time. We've got numerous drivers in the pits. Slimbo Dude, I think, just came out of the pits. And then I think there was one other that I've just missed. But yeah, possibly Calzo and Twist Royalty as well have both pitted. But yeah, Ali had a mistake in sector 1 there and had to, well, he had to drive a full
I have to
lap with
cut you
half
off.
a
Go
front
to
wing.
Mesnet. Go to Mesnet. He is going off every corner. His rear tires are overheating like crazy. He is sliding everywhere, and he needs to crawl back to the pits. I hope he can make it this corner. Yeah, he can really cautiously. Well, that must have cost him a ton of time.
Would you like to explain to the viewers, Bleeding Sunrise, what you mean by that with the overheating on the 2017 game?
Yeah, of course. If you slide a lot, your tires will get too hot. I mean, they've got a temperature in which they have the most grip. If your tires are too cold, then you have no grip. If your tires get too hot, you also have no grip. And well, I think he slided a bit, got him overheated. Then he got no grip, slided even more, and then even got less grip. So I think that's what happened.
Not a good place to be in there. These guys
I
working.
think we want to hop on with Twist Royalty. He's made a pit stop. He's come out behind a Razor, and if he wants to win this race, to take off Calzo, he's got to get this move done. He's 8 tenths behind now. A Razor still on the tires he started on, so it should be a big advantage here for Twist Royalty.
I am loving this tonight, guys. I mean, I've just been sat on with a Razor for the past lap and a half, Curly Willy. It's superb stuff, mate. It's like one mind, guys. I'm loving it. But yeah, we got a Razor who's found himself in second place with all the pit stops going on. Twist Royalty lining them up into turn 3. No thinks better of it, so I don't think it'd be too long with a Razor on the older tyres. Ooh, nearly a bit of contact there. Holds it a bit nicely. Twist now. Contact.
God.
Looks like we've lost no front wing end plates or anything there, unless one of the guys want to jump on board and check that for me. Everything looks intact, but that is a Razor down to third place.
Yeah, I'm on board. Both cars do look okay on the front wing, but sometimes minor damage doesn't necessarily show up too clearly. We have also just had Nightwalker in the pits, who I think has been jumped by Jade. Jade going for that early pit stop has, I think, made up a position. Oh no, actually, sorry, Nightwalker has come out in front of Jade, never mind.
Ooh, okay there. Bleeding Sunrise, who are you currently on board with at the moment, my good man?
I'm on board with Calzo at the moment, and I was wondering if he had pitted yet. Well, I think so, but...
Yes, Calzo,
yeah.
Twist Royalty, well, every single person in the top 10, apart from a Razor, have pitted. So a Razor is that one person yet to make a pit stop.
Oh yeah, I see. You can see it on the telemetry stuff.
Yeah, you don't worry, Bleeding. You'll get there, my good man. It's just
yes.
They give us a bit of an information overload, shall we say? But Calzo now setting the pace of a 1:38.8. Great pace from the World Series driver, with Twist Royalty in hot pursuit, 5.8 seconds behind. We'll keep an eye on that gap. A Razor currently in third. I'll run through the order quick, guys. We have Slim Mo Dude in for 13.4 seconds off the lead, and fifth down as we go is Konzo in 5th, Ali Muntean 6th, Nightwalker 7th, Jade in 8th, Shumi Garcia 9th, who's just gained a place on Anders, who's dropped to 10th, Espial Malikekic is still circulating with his disconnection, Maznat in 12th, Formula 1 Luke in 13th, Uzi in 14th, with Con Reese in 15th, 3 laps down.
Yeah, I think Anders had a spin there at turn 12, just saw him recovering, Shumi Garcia gaining that place. A lot of drivers having troubles here today. These conditions look really, really difficult as Anders is, oh, that's a great save, almost putting it in a wall at the final sector there, but phenomenal work on the wheel to keep that car in bounds. So he's just trundling into the pits now, so there might be some damage there.
Dave, can you go over to Con Reese? He is on super soft, but he is behind our Razor at the moment. And putting him under pressure, although he's 2 laps down, but it's kind of interesting, and I think it's ready for dries. I mean, he's following pretty quickly and gaining on the Razor, on his hinders.
We are there now, Bleeding Sunrise, and thank you for that information. We were unsure. I believe I brought it up 2 or 3, maybe 4 laps ago, but you can see the intermediate tyres, the Red Bull behind Con Reese there was losing it, and he's making the move. Brave stuff into the penultimate corner. Maybe a bit of a squeeze, but I'd say that's all fair in love and war, and he's on the move. I think you're right, Bleeding. These guys should be on slicks.
Go to P4, go to P4.
P4, Slimbo Dude, go in.
Yeah.
And he's going down the inside of a Razor into turn 1. They're side by side. This fairly heavy braking zone. A Razor is better on those brakes, but Slimbo's just got so much more grip on these new tires, and he's clean past him. But we've also just seen Maznat come into the pits for a set of super softs as well, and I mean it's a bit strange because it's still raining. It's still raining. The track still looks wet, but yet these super soft tires look pretty quick. I mean, we've just seen Con Rees, who's had a very tough race so far, just fly past on these intermediate runners. So, yeah, perhaps the intermediates are just struggling. Maybe, with drivers, they've been spinning a lot. There's been a lot of people overheating their tires. Maybe just the temperature is wrong for it.
Well, a bit of information for you there. I've got a Ferrari fighting Slimbo Dude, and I believe he's a lapped car. He is faster than the guys on the intermediate tyres right now, but he cannot get far enough away to get rid of the blue flag, so he's in a bit of a catch-22 situation here. He can go, but he can't get far enough at the road, so I think these guys need the slicks, because these guys that have been lapped are pumping in the lap times and are quicker.
So as a lap driver, you can overtake the car in front of you, even if you are a lap down, if you are considerably faster than them, but you have to be able to pull away in front of them. If you're not able to do that, then it's better just to sit behind and wait, because you obviously don't want to get in that guy's race if he's still on the lead lap and you're not.
No, that's not that's very true there. But I've just got a bit of information for you though. These guys on slicks, maybe it's because they're being lapped, we're unsure, but Calzo's just pumped. It's just pumped in a 1:38.6 as the fastest lap currently, and he's on intermediates, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's really awesome to see that both strategies are working.
Yeah,
I'm just
really
perplexed
difficult.
by this. It looks so wet. Maznat having big issues through turn 1 and 2. He's just made the pass on a Razor, and now he's almost lost the car, and a Razor's right on the back of him again. So this is what I'm saying about, if you're a lap down and you're passing a car in the lead lap, you have to be able to pull away almost instantly, because now he's almost holding a Razor up.
We're there now. He's got the move done. We missed the move, Curly Willy, but I think from what we're seeing now, he might just be starting to ease away. So maybe just needed the clean air to get a bit more heat into the tyres. But I'm confused, guys. I don't know about you. I mean, we've got slicks on track. Whoa! Maznat into the wall. Has he kept it going? I believe so. A lot of front wing there. A lot of Ferrari M plates and bits and bobs flying. You can see it on the left-hand side, guys. He's lost a lot of front wing there. Slicks might be quicker, but they're not looking the safer option.
Nope. I'm watching his front wing at the moment, and I think I don't know for sure, but I think his right front wing is like orange, like heavily damaged. It's still got some end plates on it, but yeah, he needs to pit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Ferraris are clearly communicating. Shumi Garcia is the next man to jump into the pits and take a gamble. He's on the soft compound tires, and those will get him to the end of the race. So yeah, I mean, despite the rain still falling, despite the amount of spray, the slick tires do seem to be working pretty well.
Yeah. And at the meantime, Twist Royalty is setting the fastest lap of the race, so he is trying to pressure Calzo into making a mistake towards the end of the race. It will be a battle. Although,
yeah, Twist Royalty
of course, yeah, we are watching the World Series reserves. We don't care about the World Series drivers, but still interesting.
Well, I mean, Twist is he is one of our reserve drivers, and he was 5.5 seconds behind Calzo.
Yeah.
And Maznat is retired now, but he was 5.5 seconds behind. Now he's only 2.6. Twist is running down Calzo, who's someone we would expect to fight for the championship this season. So yeah, Twist Royalty is really showing up today.
Wow, I've jumped on board with Twist Royalty, guys, because it seems to be the man on the move. If you guys see anything else, scream at me. You know what to do, and we'll jump back.
I'm in the pits with Konzo, who is being held up, but he went to the inters again, so he thinks it's wet.
Maybe, yeah. It's good to see. I mean, the mixture of variety that Codemasters will give us on this game with strategy, it's intense. You don't know what's the right tyre, what's not. I mean, on the left-hand side, we've got pretty much all drivers bar Con Rees, who's still going on the super softs, and Shumi Garcia on the soft compound, as Curly Willy said. So they're the guys to watch. If they're not succeeding, the other guys won't make the move. But Twist...
I mean,
go on.
So go on.
No, I was just going to say, it looks like Twist may be starting to drop off the back of Calzo now. The gap was 2.7, it's now 3.2. Calzo pumping up at 38.5 now. Wow, this says to me...
Talking of tyres, Shumi Garcia has just set his well, fastest middle sector and fastest final sector of the race on these soft tires on his outlap. So he's clearly finding some pace on these slick tires. I'm not sure how, but he's doing it. We've also got Slimbo Dude. He's taken a gamble. He's gone onto the super soft tires as well. He's just in the pits right now and leaving. So yeah, I mean, some of these drivers are, well, I mean, we saw Konzo go for a set of intermediates. He clearly doesn't think that it's dry enough yet for the slicks, but the guys on the slick tires do seem to be making some time up.
Sorry to a bit of a breathing moment now. I've just watched Slimbo Dude try and come out the pits and nearly come across into a McLaren. Lucky he caught it. That's ghosted, thank God. But yeah, it's obviously getting the heat into the tyres seems to be a bit of a problem. But once they're there, they got a bit of pace in them. But it'd be interesting to see how Slimbo does on the super softs now. We're currently on board with him, guys. We've left Twist because Twist seems to be dropping off the back of Calzo. We'll see how Slimbo Dude gets on with his pursuit on trying to close down the gap on a set of super soft tyres.
Ooh, you might have to switch to Ali Mantine. He is going to the back of a Razor. A few corners ago it looked like 2 seconds. It's now down to 1. He's catching him quite quickly as well.
Oh, we're there now, don't worry, we're back here now. We'll see how this battle unfolds. The gap is quite close. As you said, it's a second basically, isn't it? Yeah, second.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Closest battle
Let's
on
get
track.
the DRS.
Get it on, as they say. So hopefully Ali Mantine will be within DRS range as they come around the cars. In fact, we'll jump on board with him and see how
he's got
doing.
so much traction compared to a Razor. Out of that corner, it was he gained literally half a second just on traction alone.
Oh, it looks good, and bit wobbly. Razor's running wide a bit. Oh, it's looking a bit. This looks a bit intense between the WSR drivers in their pursuit to try and get a podium today. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But yep, we're coming into that final sector bleeding. See how they do with DRS. Is a Razor going to be able to hold him off?
They're going. You see him physically gaining on track. You don't even need the telemetry for it. What do you think? End of the straight?
If he gets a good run, which slightly wide a bit of curb may not get him this time, but if he gets a good run through turn 1s and 2, who knows? But if I'm honest, it would seem that Ali Muntine's got a lot of straight line speed. I don't think the DRS is that powerful. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a short straight, so the DRS is not as powerful, although you have DRS 2 times, but it are 2 short straights, so the effect is a bit marginal compared to other tracks like China.
A little bit there. Just a little bit of an update for you on lap times, guys. One of our World Series drivers now just pumped in a 1:37.8, I believe I saw there, and that would be Konzo on the intermediate. So I think the drivers are as confused as we are, guys, in the commentary box. None of them know which way to go. The slicks seem like they can do it, but the inters seem like they're holding it. But as we move
I mean,
on,
this is truly bizarre. We've now got Shimi Garcia. I mean, he's going 2, 3, 4 seconds a lap faster than he was at the start of the race. He's now matching the pace of the leaders, but yet Konzo ahead of him is on a completely different set of tires and is still pulling away. So, yeah, I mean, these tires are, well, just, I don't even know what to say about it. It seems like different drivers are having success on different types of tires. It still looks incredibly wet on board with the cars. I mean, that rain is not easing up. The track looks very, very wet, and yet somehow these guys are making the slick tires work.
they're putting on a great show. I just want to throw out there, I hope
there he goes.
Oh, there we go. Ooh, bit brave in there, wasn't he, Bleeding?
Yeah, it's a corner where nobody expects an overtake. Maybe he surprised himself that he attacked the Razor. It looked a bit clunky, but it's a good try.
No, but he's had a better exit out of the final corner than he did last time, and it seems that he's got a lot of straight line speed. He's hand over fist. Here we go. Car coming out the pits. It's a ghost car. No panics there. Inside line, going down there. It's room left. Ooh, contact. Didn't get a great view of that. We kind of had the car on the outside blocking it.
I was on board for that one, and I think the Razor has just been a little bit too aggressive there and squeezed him on the apex, and just a slight amount of wheel-to-wheel contact. I think their wheels got somewhat caught on each other, and unfortunately that sent Ali around. But he's not lost. Well, he's lost about 5 seconds, but I think he'll be able to come back and have another go at a Razor towards the end of the race, because Razor looks like he's struggling a little bit.
We hope so. That was an unfortunate event there. One of the things, all we ask, guys, is leave a little bit of room for internet connection just in case, but it's one of the things that happens. But hey up, it's the World Series Reserves. We all know you're trying to prove yourself, but guys, a little bit more respectful as you go. We understand incidents will happen. I've just noticed though, guys, Ali Muntean going from the attacker to what looks like the man on the defensive with the World Series champion Konzo behind him.
Wow. Talking of pressure, that's some pressure right there. I don't know if he knows if he is being chased by the world champion, but I imagine the pressure if he knows.
If he does know, he's doing a great job, because Konzo at the moment is not looking to make any inroads into him. Maybe just given the conditions on braking zones and setup and whatnot. But Ali Muntean, new to front row racing, he's standing out for me, guys. I don't know about you, Bleeding. He's sixth place at the moment. Doing a good job.
Stellar drive. That's amazing to see that he can put up a fight with Konzo. That's amazing.
That's good.
Just to add to the tyre confusion, Malik Akic setting the fastest lap of the race on a set of super softs. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like some drivers are making this work and other drivers are still happy on the intermediates. As Konzo's getting pretty close to Ali here. Possibly gonna have an opportunity down into turn 3 if he can get some good traction. He's very aggressive on the throttle there, Konzo. He's in the slipstream, he's got DRS, but Ali's got some phenomenal straight line speed in that car, and there's no way through.
Doing a fantastic job there. I've just noticed, guys, the only other two cars close on track, there's a little bit of a gap, about 2.5 seconds, is Nightwalker and Eraser. Two other of our reserve drivers. Might be worth keeping an eye on them as they go as well.
Whoa, there was that was my reaction. I saw a bit of lag of Ali Muntean. He just went left and right, and then everything went back to normal. It's fun. I'm on board with Konzo now, really on his onboard, and it's funny to see that the driving styles of these two drivers are quite similar, but also a bit different. I think Konzo is a bit cleaner. Alan is going a bit more wide, but Konzo is taking everything really cautiously and just buying his time and just waiting for a clear-cut opportunity.
Yeah.
I think Konzo's going to have to get inventive here to get past, because Ali looks so fast in a straight line. I don't see how he's going to be able to do it in one of the DRS zones. Konzo's looking much more stable through the corners, so he's very close. We'll see if he's able to get a good run. For Konzo here, it's really just about the traction out of this final corner here. He's got to get a good exit if he wants to be able to get past Ali. He's using more of the track there. Should have a little bit of a better exit, but I think Ali has gotten DRS off of one of the ghost cars, and that's probably going to help him defend into turn 1. He does go defensive. Konzo now clipping that apex. He's very close, almost contact. Wow. I think Konzo had to back out a little bit there, and he's got DRS. He's in the slipstream, but Ali in front of him has also got DRS, and Konzo, he's going to go for a very late dive on the brakes. Just a little bit of contact into turn 3. They're side by side coming into turn 4. Can Ali hold on to this against the World Series champion? No, Konzo is just in front and he squeezes through at turn 4. So Konzo clearly recognizing there he wasn't able to get past on the straights, and had to get very aggressive through those corners, but a good move overall.
Yeah, it was good stuff there, a little bit of contact, but I'd say that's all fair as they went, guys. No one really lost out as such, and it wasn't a really big incident, so interesting stuff. See how Ali readjusts with the current World Series champion. Can he get back on his tail? I believe, though, they have Nightwalker in front of him, who would seem to have lost a bit of time.
Yeah, I just was watching Nightwalker for a bit, and I switched on board with him, and he was on the grass on the exit of a few corners back, so that's why he lost so much time to Konzo, and Konzo can make big steps to a P4 of a P5 of Nightwalker if he can close up. Nightwalker is drifting a bit. Man, watch your tires. You need them for another 8 laps.
Oh, you do indeed, and just Nightwalker's into the pits.
He's going into the pits.
That's going to completely free up Konzo, and Ali Muntean behind, who's still carrying on, so he's found himself back up into 6th again. So nice little showing. Any other battles going on elsewhere, guys? It's been a bit eventful.
I was just switching onto Twist Royalty, and I thought there was Calzo in front. No, there was a car in front of him who was going wide, but it was a lapped car. I was getting excited, but
No worries, Bleeding.
I'm easily excited.
Yeah, we've had a long break as well. We've had a long break, so
Yeah.
no, I've just jumped up board with the front guys because I've noticed old Calzo is still leading. Our World Series driver with Twist Royalty around 9 seconds off him in second on the intermediate still. But it would seem Slimbo Dude now is holding the gap to Twist. So do you reckon we could see a last push ditch attempt with the track drying? Who knows? Curly Willy was our weatherman. He said we should expect this all race, but it'd be interesting. Other than that, would you like to run through the order as it stands at the moment, Bleeding Sunrise?
Yes, of course. So in front we got Kelso, the World Series driver. Behind him we got Twist Royalty, the current leader for the reserves. Slimbo Dude, our guy who is first time driving on the Super Soft, trying to get back to Royalty in third. Then we got Eraser, Conso in 5th, Alimantine in 6th place, Nightwalker in 7th, our female driver Jade Riot in 8th, Shumi Garcia in 9th, SBL Marikakets or Veteran in 10th place, Uzi in 11th, Formula 1 Luke in 11th, Con Rees still holding on in 13th position, and that are our drivers at the moment.
That's good stuff there, Bleeding Sunrise. Thank you very much. I'm still keeping an eye on the lead with Slimbo Dude and Twist Royalty as Calzo, sorry. Apologies there to the brothers. I'm sure that'll be some comment coming my way now.
Conzo on the back of Eraser. Let's get on with Conzo. He's pulling up, going for a move down into turn 3. He's going to go for the outside this time. And Eraser has actually just backed out of that and let him go. And I think the reason for that is Eraser, he pitted very late in this race. He pitted on lap 14. He's going for a one-stop here today. And I think he is the only one left in the field that's only done one stop, so he's trying to make that work. He doesn't want to battle too much with Conzo. I think he realizes that Conzo was going to get past him sooner or later. So, yeah, Razor just trying to stretch these tires out to the very end of the race, I think.
Yeah. That's good stuff there. I'll just give you an update on that, guys, because on our World Series reserves, if we take Calzo and Conzo out of the equation, our top 3 would be Twist, Slimbo, and Eraser, so he may be thinking of the long run. But, Bleeding, you were just about to say something.
Yeah, Eraser's doing a pretty stellar job. I mean, he gained 10 positions from the start. He got a big gap behind him from Nightwalker, so might be I mean, if he wants to, he kind of can make a pit stop to get a fresh set of tires and just blast away from Nightwalker and just take home his podium finish.
He could indeed, playing it safe, but Eraser, he's known to being kind to his tyres, Bleeding, so we could see this one stop going all the way.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
So it's good stuff. It's good to see Eraser up there. Nice little driver, very consistent, and he's one of the guys that will abide by all rules at all times and cut his losses and pick up what he can. So fantastic job there. But currently looking through the order, we had Bleeding Sunrise go through the order. Calzo in the lead, Twist 12.5 off, Slimbo Dude 21, so they all seem pretty spread out, bar Eraser trying to keep Conzo in his sights. So we'll stay here for the moment and give old Eraser a bit of TV time.
Yeah, Twist Royalty just making a mistake somewhere in that first sector. He's lost a few seconds to Calzo, and that's put Slimbo Dude. He was 11 seconds behind. It's now only 9, and this gap has been going sort of up and down all through this stint. Slimbo on the super soft tires, but he's not really gaining on Twist. So yet again, we see that, you know, these drivers are making the different compounds work. It seems like we're in an almost permanent changeover period between the two sets of tires. They're pretty equal in pace.
Very interesting there. Could I ask you to do something for me, Curly Willy, if that's all right, fella? As we know, we lost SBL Malikakec. He rejoined. I was wondering if you could keep an eye on his pace, given the dry tyres compared to the guys around him, so they get a few tips going forward, running with the WC drivers today.
Yeah, I think the main thing to see out of Malikakec's times is that he's quite inconsistent. He's had a couple laps down at the 36s and 37s, and then some up there in the 38s. So yeah, it seems like the raw pace is there on these super soft tires, but it seems to be difficult to put in the consistent times on them. I mean, he's got Shumi Garcia in front of him, and in fairness to Shumi, he's basically matching SBL Malikakec's pace at the moment. So yeah, and the two of them are considerably quicker than the group in front of them on the intermediates.
That's good stuff there. So when they're hooking it up, they're getting the time out of the tyres, but the WSR guys are playing it safe. But it's a great show, we've seen it all, and currently we've still got Slimbo Dude out there in third on the super soft compounds, unless that's a glitch for myself.
No, that's correct. And we've also got we've got Ali Montine. He's reeling in Nightwalker now. He's closed that gap up from 4 or 5 seconds down to just a second, and he looks considerably quicker at this point in the race. He's pulling closer and closer to him, so a little bit of a mistake there through turn 2. That's going to cost him a bit all the way down this straight, and he's lost a few tenths. But yeah, this does seem to be the closest battle.
Interesting stuff there. I will admit, I know Ali Montini's a guy that has got a bit of pace, settled into the assist side, and is doing a fantastic job up against a group of guys compared to what he's used to driving, should I say, are a fair bit quicker. So nice little showing from yourself there, fella, and it would show he's got the pace if you'd agree, Bleeding Sunrise, because with that incident, where would he be if he didn't have that moment?
Ooh, wow, that's one thing I can only wonder about. He's doing a stellar job, just coming in and just battling in these difficult conditions. Really good stuff.
Great stuff there. It's good to see a new face in Front Row Racing. What I'll do now, guys, quickly, if we see an overtake happen with these two guys, Ali Montine and Nightwalker, who seem to be the closest on track, I'll just give a shout out to Front Row Racing. This is Front Row Racing, guys. You can find us. Our home is Facebook. Come along, drop us a message, see what's what on the page, and if you're interested in giving it a go and rubbing wheels up against these guys in the fair manner, of course, drop us a message, we'll get back to you. Let us know if you're interested in assist side or non-assist racing, because we do both sides and deal with each side. You will be starting in the reserves though, as Ali Montine has a fantastic exit out the final corner. You will be racing against these guys in either the assist or non-assist, depending on what you favour. Other than that, you can see our videos on YouTube to see what we're all about when we go racing. So yeah, feel free, come along, find us on Facebook, drop us a message, and we'll go from there.
Shall we have a bit of a talk at why we do reserves and what their purpose is, and why would one join reserves, and what is the ultimate goal for them?
Would you like to do that, Bleeding, or would you like me to?
Well, yeah, of course. Now I can talk about it. So when you first start racing with us in Front Row Racing, then you start off in the reserves class. So like Dave said, in either with assist or without assist, and you know, you can, if you prove yourself, if you are a safe driver, you might get picked by someone who is not able to race in the top series, in either the World Series Reserve, which is assist allowed, or in the World Championship, where no assist is allowed. So if you do well, you might have a drive over there, and if you do well on your occasional drive, then you might get a permanent seat one day in the championship or in the series. So that's the ultimate goal, and I know a lot of drivers are watching that are driving in the top leagues. So it's really important to do well, but most of the time it's also about gaining experience in the league racing. Just be fast and of course be safe. I mean, it's great if you're fast, but if you can't finish, you won't get picked.
That's very, very true there. Bleeding Sunrise, thank you very much for passing the information out there. I just want to touch up on one more thing. We also have something called the Admin's Pick Rookie. Where
okay, I'm going to cut you off here. We got Shumi Garcia looking to make a move on Jade. Jade's still on these intermediate tires. Shumi reeling in on these super softs. He's right behind now, and looking to have a move down into turn 1. He's going to take the outside line. Jade defending to the inside, and very, very late on the brakes there from Jade. In fact, too late. She's run wide, and Shumi Garcia says, thank you very much, I'll have that position, as he takes 8th place. Jade just a little too aggressive on the brakes there.
Ooh, that was a shame there, but we call all the action. Curly Wally, good stuff, keeping the information coming. We've now jumped back up front with Ali Montine, who does not want to leave Nightwalker going, as they both seem to be running slightly wide. But I'll just continue on with what I was saying, guys. Yeah, as Bleeding Sunrise summed up there with the reserves and World Championship, World Series, etc., there are ways to coming in. This is where you start. The admin team, though, have a car available, and on top of what Bleeding said, you come along, participate in these events, the admin will always fill that car with a driver from the reserves of the World Championship reserves or the World Series reserves to go into their said event. So don't just think you're waiting for someone to pick you. The admins may randomly pick you and see if you're brave enough to give it a go.
Yeah, it's a really nice tool that if you put on a good show that the admin can pick you and yeah, have a go on the real deal.
Yeah,
We finally had a mistake here from Nightwalker through the penultimate corner. We got Ali going down the inside in turn 1. He's been patiently waiting for this for so many laps, and he is pulling ahead this inside line. Nightwalker closes up on the brakes. Is he going to try and go for a cutback? Oh, just too much curb there. He's not able to get the traction out of turn 2, and I think Ali's got that move finally done, and that just shows that, you know, Ali is a very patient driver. He just sat there and waited and waited. He put the pressure on and just finally waited for Nightwalker to make that mistake, and he has gotten the place. So just a little bit of proof there that patient driving can pay off.
Well, in the meantime, you say that Elementine made a bit of a mistake in the tight section on sector 1. Can Nightwalker get him back? Nah, Elementine is pulling away for a bit, and I don't think Nightwalker will see him again until the finish line.
No, that was great stuff there, guys. We literally jumped on board, was just about to say it, but Curly Wurly jumps in there first again. But no, guys, would you believe it? We're already on lap 28.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the meantime, Jade Reyes pitted for a new set of tires. Maybe her tires just went off in on the last few laps, and she decided, all right, I'm going to take a save and bring the pink Force India home.
Oh, there was a front wing change at that pit stop as well. Just caught that, so I'm assuming there's an incident somewhere. She's dropped down to 10th place, still in the points, and a long way ahead of P11, so should be able to bring it home in the points there today, and was jumped by Malik Kekech while in the pits.
Ooh, sorry to cut you off before you're going to say something, guys. I've just seen Ali Munty make a huge mistake coming out the final corner there. He's lucky Nightwalker has dropped right behind him. Touched too much throttle, and he may have just put all that hard work into the wall. Lucky save there, but good stuff by the man. Guys, let's have a... I don't suppose you want to have a quick recap, because everything seems to have calmed down for a minute while I just jump on board with Twist Rory of the goods, the bads, and is this something that guys should come along and get involved in? Because this looks like a very competitive season in the reserves from what we've seen before.
Yeah. This was a proper race. The beginning was a bit carnage. Had a bit of carnage in the back. Well, that happens sometimes. At least it's a lot cleaner than public races. But yeah, we've seen a good race. And also strategy-wise, this was all over the place. Well, Schumacher Garcia put it in the wall. I think he might have damaged. He's behind. He's just in front of just Royalty, who was lapping him. But yeah, he survived it barely, I think. But where was I? Oh yeah, the race. Well, it was a fun race, and strategy-wise, really challenging. I remember myself in races where I made a wrong call, and well, these guys just managed right through it.
Yeah, don't bring up wrong calls, please, Bleeding Sunrise. We've only just got back as a team. I mean, there was Mexico for me and all these other places. Just bring up bad memories, mate.
Yeah, I remember Mexico. I don't want to bring it up. All right, we got a winner, I think, in the last corner.
We have indeed. I will run through it, guys, as the broadcaster today. Order will be resumed next time out in China, though, with Bleeding Sunrise. But Calzo comes across to take the victory today, one of our World Series drivers, and it's not letting me jump back. Another feature I'm not too happy about by Codemasters. Please let me jump. No, it's not letting me jump. So I don't know if Bleeding Sunrise would like to just see out the show if you can jump. Or
I'm stuck with Calzo as well. So that's something we need to have in mind for the next races.
Yes.
Alright, I'm still on board here. We've had Twist Royalty across the line watching Slimbo. Dude, he's almost lost it out of the final corner. He just saves it. I was incredibly close to throwing away a P2 there out of the reserves. But he does cross the line for P3 overall. And then we got Konzo in P4, but we're not too bothered about him. Razor is still making his way through turns 11 and 12. He's in quite a lot of curb there. It's final lap. He's got a big gap behind him. He's still taking some risks. So he's going to be coming home for P5 or P3 out of the reserve drivers. A really good try from him today on the one stop, trying that different strategy. It's paid off well for him. Very impressed with his race here. But yeah, I mean, that one stop versus the two seems to have worked out well for him. It might not have been expected of the intermediates at the start, but Razor's definitely made it work.
He has indeed. They've done a fantastic job, and I believe I'm right in saying he's going to pick up our third place on the podium with the WSR drivers. So, well done, Eraser. Welcome back to racing, buddy. Following up in sixth place would be Ali Muntean. I apologise that we got to do it this way, guys. And then following him up closely, around 4 seconds behind, would be Nightwalker, as they've just been avoided by being lapped by Calzo. But that's the race, guys. Once the screen picks up and brings up the race results, Bleeding Sunrise, would you like to go through it for the first time on F1 2017?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, by the way,
I'll also try to make a picture of it.
Oh, yes, please. By the way, we've got the new feature of the podium, so we will let that run through, and you can go through the finishing order when you're ready, Bleeding.
Oh, yes, I will. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. So guys, before we hand over to Bleeding with the final results of our World Series Reserves event, round 1 in Australia, in a fortnight's time you'll see him hit the track of China. But until then, next week you will see the World Championship drivers on Wednesday. Event starts at 7:30, hit the track around Australia, followed up on Thursday by the drivers of the World Series, starts at 7:30 or so. But Bleeding Sunrise, would you like to fly through the order?
Yeah, of course. Through the order, we've got Kelso in first, Twist Royalty in second, Slimbo Dude in third place, Kelso in fourth, Eraser fifth, sixth, Ali Muntean, Nightwalker in seventh, Shumi Garcia in eighth. Ninth place is for SBL Mali Kekic. The last point is for Jade Reyes. Then Formula 1 Luke in 11th, Uzi in 12th, and Con Reese in 13th. And that's as far as I could go tonight.
After that, anyway, Bleeding Sunrise, every driver after Con Reese was a DNF. So we apologise that Bleeding Sunrise didn't get round to giving you a shout out, guys, where you finished in the final order, but the rest were DNF. So if the host, Curly Willy, could just, or Bleeding Sunrise, invite the drivers into the party chat, we can get the interviews going.
Yeah, the 4 drivers that DNF from the race were Maznat, Anders, Barvmet, and Stocky. Those are the guys that didn't make it to the end.
I can't invite from the party, guys.
Okay.
You're the host, Dave.
Yeah, you're the host.
Apologies, guys. Give me 2 minutes. We're having a bit of a moment. It's all down to me, so I will take full responsibility. But give me 30 seconds, guys, and we will be back with you. Guys, who did we have in second?
Slimbo Dude.
Nice one.
So it was Twist Royalty, Slimbo Dude, and Eraser.
Superb. Apologies about that, guys. We are now back now with our drivers with their invites. We're just waiting for them to pop up, and we will start interrogating them with how the likes of Razor pulled off a one-stop and how the likes of Twist Royalty let Conzo slip away. So, but it's a great showing, guys. I'm actually quite happy. I think our events are going quite well so far. They're looking good, and driving and racing seems to be getting better and better as we go. So, we now have Slimbo Dude in the party chat. Slimbo Dude, if you could just make sure your microphone is allowed to share, please, so the viewers can hear you once we get around to firing some questions at you. So at the moment we're just waiting for Twist Royalty to come into the lobby and our third place man, and we will start shouting questions out and see what these guys have to say with how their race went from going from a dry qualifying to a wet race. But Curly Wully, how did you find that? I mean, we didn't get around to asking you. You done me a massive favour by giving us a bit of a radio commentary, as I like to call it, being the older generation here.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good race. Very tricky session for the drivers. It's all, you know, the first race of the year. Being at Australia, it's always difficult. It's a hard track. The walls are very close. It's pretty high speed. But to have a wet race as the first race as well is just, yeah, that's a real curveball for the drivers. So A little bit messy, particularly the first lap. We saw 4 or 5 cars have incidents there at turn 1. But yeah, I think we saw some great driving, some different strategies from people today. So overall, I'm really happy with how that went, and it was a pleasure watching it.
That's good stuff there, Curly Willy. Thanks for that. As Curly Willy said, it was an interesting race, eventful. I'll just fire out before we go over to our podium sitters. Next week, you will see the drivers on Wednesday hit the track from the World Championship event for the first time in Round 1 Australia. See what the conditions that are put in store for those guys. And following up will be Thursday. The World Series guys will go and hit the track and see what those guys can provide, given those guys going for a championship, not just trying to find a seat, and put on a fantastic show like these guys have this evening. I believe we have all podium sitters in with us now. Bleeding Sunrise, it's been a while. Would you like to kick us off, or would you like one of us two to do it? Entirely up to you, my good man.
Oh well, of course. Well, guys, well done. It was difficult conditions tonight. I mean, you guys started off dry and then went into the wet with no feeling of the track, with no formation lap. That must have been tricky. So I believe Twist Royalty won reserves right before I mess up. Pretty bad.
Twist Royalty did win, so he would be the gentleman we're starting with.
Thank you. So Twist, welcome. Of course, congratulations to you. We've spoken a bit last season, quite often on the podiums. How are you feeling tonight?
All right, thanks.
Well, good to hear you're in good fashion back again. How did you feel about going into the race knowing it was going to rain?
I felt alright. I knew it was going to rain.
And from the commentary perspective, it looked like during the race, like all strategies were available. Was it clear cut from the track, or were you thinking a lot about changing up your strategy with your tires?
I didn't change my strategy at all. I just stuck with it.
Oh, it was always inters?
Yeah.
Alright. Thank you. And we saw you following for the win in terms of the World Series. We saw the gap going back and forth. Well, was it just no? Weren't you too close today, or did you make a few mistakes?
No, I didn't make any mistakes. Just
okay.
Whoever hit was too fast.
Alright, well, congratulations on the result. Really good drive. Curly and Dave, do you have any questions for Twist Royalty?
They're normally short, sweet, and straight to the point with old Twist, so he hasn't changed bleeding.
No, I noticed.
Yep, it's good to see. I mean, what Bleeding Sunrise wouldn't have seen, we've had some test sessions, and Twist is just reenacting what he's done in the test session. So congratulations, Twist, another fantastic result, mate. You're doing well. At any point did you think, though, because we did notice the gap fluctuate a fair bit, but it seemed at one point you were gaining on him. Did you make a mistake at any point in that race? Are you sure? Because at one point I believe Curly Willy touched upon you lost around about half a second, or I did, and it was as if you made a mistake. Was that like race gone? Just slow down. I'm the front end of the reserves.
Yeah, I did make a mistake actually.
There we go, we got it in the end. Yeah, good stuff there. No, fantastic race from you, Twist. I mean, I know I raced with you plenty of times. I know what you're all about. So what I'm going to do is going to hand over to Curly Willy and see if he can get any one-word answers out of you.
This one is a one-word answer. Twist, did you go for a wet setup or a dry setup? Wet setup. Did you ever consider going for a dry setup, particularly qualifying the dry, get yourself maybe a little further up the grid for the start of the race? Or was that completely off the table?
Off the table.
Completely off the table. All right, that's all for me.
Okay, that's good stuff there. Thank you very much, Twist. So we'll move back. We have got a question of the day, so don't you go running anywhere, Sunshine. We'll hopefully get an answer out of you for that. So, Curly Willy, would you like to move on to second place, or would you like me to, fella?
I'll go for it.
Okay.
So yeah, well done, Slimbo. We've seen you quite a lot through the test sessions. Been putting up some really good performances. I want to go back to qualifying. Pole position 22.1, so really good lap time. I'm gonna ask you the same question as I did for Twist. Did you go for a dry or a wet setup?
As all the drivers knew, it was going to be wet, but I wanted to have pace in qualifying, so as I did in the Silverstone test, I created a bit of a hybrid, so I could have pace in both conditions. It didn't turn out like that. I struggled a bit in the wet, but I still was able to manage the gap behind.
Yeah, I mean that lap in qualifying put you on definitely on the front foot. Very good lap. Do you regret that decision now, or do you still think it was the right thing to do?
Through the race, I did wish that I added a bit more rear downforce because the back end kept sliding out. But other than that, no, I didn't regret the decision at all. I was happy with pole, and that fitting in itself is good. So, and I'm on the podium now. So.
Yeah, well, very well done to you. It was a great race. Dave, you got some questions for Slimbo?
Yeah, well, you've touched upon set of Curly Willy, that was one of mine, but hey ho. No, Slimbo dude, I mean, you've done it in testing, you've come along, you've given it a go, and you're a standout character along with the likes of Twist and all our other reserves at the front end. It's good to see, always a fresh face, as I've said before. At any point, I mean, going into the race, yeah, fantastic lap, as Curly said, but going down into turn one, nerves, anxious, I mean, you don't know much about some of the drivers in with us. Calzo is one hell of a fast driver. So, and people like that. I mean, how did you find yourself going wheel to wheel with the likes of him?
I'm going to be honest, I found it fairly nerve-wracking. I knew how quick he was from previous tests and watching the races. So, I knew how quick he was. And I was pretty much certain that he was going to get me off the line.
That's good stuff there. I will give you a little bit of information about Calzo now. His brother is our current World Series champion, so you were up against one hell of a driver and you did a fantastic job. Even in qualifying, that may have just notched him a little bit, you know, put a little bit of annoyance under the belt, but no, it's a fantastic job. Going forward, our next round's in China. Do you feel you can deliver the same performance you have done here in Australia before I hand you over to Bleeding Sunrise?
Hopefully, the rain is one of my weak points, so if it's dry, then hopefully I can bring the fight and battle to the win for the win.
That's good to hear. We like a bit of fight and talk here, so it'd be nice to see you pushing the likes of Konzo, Calzo, and people like that. Because I'm not joking when I say you said you've checked out the videos. They are at the sharp end of the World Series, so you're doing a fantastic job, fella. Keep it up. Right now, I'm going to hand over to Bleeding Sunrise.
Thank you very much, Dave. So Slimbo, we haven't met before, so congratulations on your result tonight. It looks from our perspective really steady in your performance. So I've kind of the same question for you. Was it difficult to plan out your strategy with dries or inter tires?
Yeah, it was. I was debating whether to stay on inters or go to the softs at about lap 4 to 6, but eventually I decided to go for the super softs. As hopefully some other drivers found, you could get quick bursts out of them, but not consistent. You'd find it was very slippery.
Yeah, it looked like that from our position, and you saw guys running fastest lap of the race on inters, and then some other place in the field, and some other guy went really fast on a super soft. So it was amazing to see from our perspective. So really well done. I'm really curious to see what you can do on the next round. So congratulations.
That's good stuff there, guys. Well, I've let you guys add the 1 and the 2. I'll take the 3rd place man. Razor, are you with us, fella?
Yes, I am. Hello, guys.
Where did that performance come from?
First off, I don't know if that was a mistake inviting me, but I'm actually a World Series driver. But yeah, I'm happy to speak to you still. So yeah.
Oh, that's my fault again, guys. I'm having a bad day. Apologies there. So we've got a Razor here. I'll get the comments from the other guy, but we'll talk to you right now, Razor.
The race was fine. I'm actually using a wheel So I normally raced with a pad, so I'm new on the wheel. It felt great. It was consistent driving, but yeah, I'm a little bit lost with like I was commentating last season World Series, so I haven't been racing so much, so I'm kind of learning things over again. But I'm happy I can still get points from these races, so happy with the result.
That's good stuff there. I mean, I just talk us through the conditions. I mean, you're going into a race, first race where it was qualifying was dry, wet race. What was your plan? Was it dry setup, wet setup? What kind of route did you go down?
I went with wet setup, so qualifying was a little bit poor. I had so much wings and it didn't feel great, but in a race it was better. So
that's good stuff there. What I'll do right now to my commentary team is I will hand over to them, Eraser, and let them drill you while I just handle a situation quickly. So over to you guys quickly. Who wants to go first?
Okay. Well, that's fine. Well, Erasers, thank you very much for sharing your story tonight with us. And I personally wrote down that you did a one-stop. You were the only one to do a one-stop. How did that came about?
Yeah, I did a one-stop. That wasn't actually my plan, but when the pit opened, I was like low on tire wear, so I tried because why not? So that worked a little bit. I was thinking about going dries because back markers overtook me with the dry tires, but then they crashed, so I stick with my inters.
Yeah, safe and steady. Yes, might have been a good call. I mean, also you said that you recently switched over to the wheel. I mean, then a one-stop it might be a good strategy if you're not, well, on lap pace. You're not really there yet. So, well, good call.
Yeah.
Well done.
That was my only chance to get decent points because I'm not fast yet. So.
Right. You think you can do better next time? In 2 weeks?
Well, I have my World Series race next week, so I'm practicing a lot and getting more practice and more familiar with my wheel. So I'm hoping good result next week.
Good to hear. What wheel did you get?
G29 Logitech.
Oh, good. Got this.
I'm happy with this wheel.
Yeah, it's a good wheel. So Curly, you got another question for Eraser?
Yeah, I got one. Eraser, you had a rough qualifying session, P15 on the grid. I just want to know what your mindset was going into the race. I mean, obviously coming from P15 to P3 is well, that's one heck of an achievement. I just want to know what were you thinking? Were you always planning that one stop? Was that a kind of risk you felt like you had to take after qualifying? What was your mindset on the grid?
Well, I was P5, so I wasn't that great in a race that you think, but I didn't mind qualifying. I knew that I was slow there because of my setup, so I was focusing on the race, and it worked. I don't know what happened in the first lap, but I overtook so many cars. There was crash, if I'm correct, so I got few places there, so I felt more confident with that, and it was stable setup, so I didn't have trouble in that kind of weather. So
yeah, there was some serious carnage at turn 1, but obviously it made it through. Okay, I mean, was that a conscious decision to just be very careful into turn 1, or were you quite aggressive through there?
I was actually pretty slow there. I saw cars coming off, I just braked and slalom through the field. So I saw people going aggressive, but I wasn't so comfortable with my wheel, so I went slow, and that actually worked better. So I'm happy with that.
All right, that's all from me. Back to you, Dave.
That's good stuff there. Congratulations, Eraser. It's good to see you back and good to see you on the other side of the fence and putting in great performances. Curly Wully did me a massive favour there, guys, and I'm just wondering if the actual WSR driver has turned up.
Not yet, unfortunately.
Not yet. Well, what I will do, because I personally know Ali Martinez, I will get his thoughts. Apologies for the mix-up, Eraser. It's always good to talk to you, my man. Nice little race.
Always.
Got your thoughts. Maybe one day we'll see you back on the comms with us. Who knows? But congratulations to all our podium sitters. What I will do right now is hand over to Bleeding Sunrise to give question of the day. It's only its second shout-out of the day, and we'll allow these drivers to answer it quick.
Yes, so guys, listen up very carefully if you are still there with me. So, with every race most races we do a question of the day, and all the poll sitters and YouTube can try to answer it. So, the question is, and listen carefully, the former Prime Minister of Australia, Bob Hawke, set a world record. He later suggested that this world record was the reason for his political success. What was his world record? Have a go. Twist Royalty, can you have a go?
Wow.
No, don't Twist. Stop Googling. Get off Google now. Right?
No Googling, that's forbidden.
Do we have an answer?
All right, Twist. We're gonna give you a little bit of a hint here. It's something that Australians are known for, that they're known to be good at.
Sounds like Twist knows no Australians.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, shall we move on to our second place man while we let Twist
Yes.
Google it?
Slimbo, can you have a guess?
Okay.
Well, I'm guessing Australian, so beer drinking?
Is that your final answer?
That's the only thing I can think of, so yeah.
Okay. I'll write it down.
Razor, have you got an answer for us, our good man?
I don't know a lot of the Australians, so maybe kangaroo hunting.
Ooh, that's a bit
Okay.
different. So, we're fired back over to Twist now, who I'm sure has been Googling like mad. No, I'm joking. Twist, have you got an answer for us?
What's the most amount of socks put on in like a minute?
Ooh, completely different answers there. That's good stuff. So,
Yeah.
Bleeding Sunrise, do you want to put them all out the misery? Because I can update you on YouTube. We have had no guesses today.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's a good thing. So I've got a fun idea. I can hand over the win to Slimbo because he got really close. The actual world record was 2.5 pints of beer in 11 seconds.
Ooh.
And so I mean that's really impressive. That was his world record, and I don't know why he credits that to political success, but it's some kind of an achievement.
Well, there you go, guys. If you want to drink in Bully, I'd stay well away from that guy because it costs you a fortune. So yeah, right now, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to thank our podium sitters. That would be Twist Roy, Slimbo Dude, and Eraser, who I unfortunately invited in the wrong gentleman. My bad there. But it's always nice to talk to you, Eraser. No offence meant there. Have Bleeding Sunrise or Curly Wully got anything to add before I close up the show?
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to watch us for next week with Formula One on Wednesday and Thursday with the World Championship and the World Series. We also got a bit of a setup with Project Cars 2, which we're looking to start up in a bit. So if you're interested in that, please follow the Facebook page, and we'll see you all pretty soon.
It's good stuff there, Bleeding Sunrise. Curly Wully, is there anything you would like to add before I wrap up the show, should I say?
Just make sure you watch on the World Championship next week. See the three commentators tonight on the track, and that's absolutely everything from me.
That's good stuff there. As these guys have just said, yes, next week on Wednesday, the event starts at 7:30. That's the World Championship event. You will see the likes of myself, Bleeding Sunrise, and Curly Willy go and fight it out and try and take a crown away from Mr. Hamilton 44. That's a tough job to do. On Thursday, you will see the guys hit the track with the World Series event, the Assists Allowed League. The Wednesdays are no assists, the Thursdays are the assist guys. And on that event, you will see the likes of Konzo, Calzo, Hindle hit the track, and there are many, many big names up there. It's probably going to be our most eventful season throughout F1 2017. But guys, yeah, tune in next week. If you feel like coming along and giving it a go, you can find us on Facebook. We are under Front Row Racing. Drop us a message. As I've just said, we do a non-assist league and an assist league. Get in touch. We will hopefully have you on track soon if you are interested in racing against the likes of the guys you've seen tonight and the likes of the guys you see yesterday. So I am now about to close up the show. This has been Front Row Racing. I'm FRRC2GY. I want to say thanks to Bleeding Sunrise for joining me back in the comms box. I hope to see him here for a long and great season ahead. I would like to say thanks to Curly Whirly 7. He's done a fantastic job in joining us in the comms box through test sessions and started off fantastic. So these guys are doing a great job. Let's hope we can keep up the good work. But this has been Front Row Racing. Good night, God bless, tune in next week.